We got something going. I don't know. Can everybody hear us? Yeah, we're good. Okay. 'Cause Melissa, I know you can hear me on both ends.
Yeah.
Hi. We are live on Facebook and Instagram. This is something exciting. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm still getting a lot of feedback. Let me see what I can do on my end. Um,
Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here. This is exciting.
there's so much echo. We're going to get this done. Um, Hi, Facebook. Hi, Instagram. We are here with Obanj today, and we are going to be talking all about her business, her We Funder campaign, how we as everyday people can invest in what she has going on. This is our first lunchtime chat in a while, so I'm super excited to have you, Melissa. Can you please introduce yourself to everyone, both on Instagram and Facebook?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here and really happy to see you. My name is Melissa Kigua, and I am the founder and CEO of Obanj. Obanj is, now I can hear myself in the echo, but that's okay. We'll keep going. Obanj is a luxury startup. It's a sustainable startup as well, where members are able to borrow high-end designer jewelry like Chanel, YSL, Dior, Hermes for a monthly membership. Members can also purchase products at a discounted price. And excitingly enough, we've actually just launched one-time rentals. So you don't actually have to be a member. You don't have to be a monthly paying member to rent with us anymore. You can come if you have an event or you just want to look fly, or the world's opening up and you have a family reunion and you can't wait to see everybody and everybody's been vaccinated. You can come in and rent a piece for 7 days, and kind of come and go as you please. So that's Obanj. Really excited to be here. I love the Startup Tucson family. Thank you for having me, Kanisha and Channing.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. So let's get into it. Tell us about how Obanj started and where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So my career is actually in media and entertainment. And I tell this story a lot just because you wouldn't necessarily think I started my career as a journalist. And you wouldn't necessarily think, how would a journalist transition into fashion? But I started as a journalist, traveled the world doing that. I was very young. I wanted to see the world and experience all the things. But then after a while, I decided I wanted to transition to Hollywood. And I did, and I got to work with a lot of really amazing Black celebrities, and I got to, see Black excellence at its finest. I always tell that story to say, when I was traveling the world as a journalist, I saw the real gritty, raw reality of this world, right? Sometimes I'd be in refugee camps, sometimes I'd be in the slums, and just, sort of interviewing people and being right there. When I was in Hollywood, I saw the highs of the highs, right? And so I say that my sort of where I enter into starting Obanj, it's from having seen the extremes of the world. So even though I wanted to sort of fit into this glamorous Hollywood life, I always felt some type of tension between, what does it mean that, I want to look good and I want to purchase luxury, but what are my consumption habits? What does this actually mean, right? Fashion accounts for 10% of global carbon emissions. Even if you think of the production of jewelry in and of itself, there's so many human rights issues as well. Where do you get the diamonds? Mining, cyanide used in the mines, right, for miners. So there's a lot of different things we could unpack. So Obanj sort of brings these worlds together for me. It brings together being able to look at the world and get the things you want and be luxurious and enjoy that, but doing it in a way where we're actually doing things that are beneficial for the planet. By renting instead of buying, you extend the life cycle of the product. And so you're sort of keeping things in cycle rather than purchasing new, which means we need to produce new.
And how long have you been on this journey?
So it's been a while conceptually, but we actually just really soft launched February of this year. So 2019 is really when I said, okay, I'm going to make the leap. I'm going to make the jump. Started putting all the financial things together, getting everything together. The goal was to launch early 2020, and then we all know who came to visit.
We don't talk about that.
Yep.
We all know we all know who came to visit. So I dug deeper. I think 2020, if you were a business owner, it was, what could you do if you were in a business that was really heavily affected? You could sort of talk to customers, you can dig deeper, you can, start figuring out, how is this relevant when the world opens up? Who do we want to be? So we launched February of this year, and we're incredibly excited.
That is super cool. So we would love to hear more about your WeFunder campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always give the preface for WeFunder first to sort of explain what it is and why anyone would do it. And I start always by saying, the same way that Obanj is democratizing luxury, we are democratizing the startup investment space. Typically, to invest in a company, to invest in a private company. So if you think about the investment landscape, there's two. You can invest in an IPO public company, and that's where you can buy stock of Tesla and Heinz and Coca-Cola. But if you want to invest in a private company, typically you need to be an accredited investor with a net worth of $1 million. How many people in the United States are millionaires, right? But when you think of intergenerational wealth building, if you think of the ability of not living paycheck to paycheck, right? The opportunities to sort of expand how much capital you have in your life comes through real estate, comes through stock, comes through having a really great 401k that, you hope will last you during retirement. And it comes through investing, especially in private owned businesses. And so crowdfunding, or I should say equity crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is like the Indiegogo, Kickstarter, where you just donate. Equity crowdfunding takes that idea from that sort of Kickstarter, Indiegogo world, but it says you can, alongside a lot of everyday people with a minimum of $100, not $1 million, $100, you can invest in a private company. And when that company either gets sold, is acquired, or it goes IPO, meaning it goes public, you get a check. You are an investor. You get paid dividends. So I love WeFunder, Republic. These are the names of platforms that you can invest on. I love the equity crowdfunding campaign idea because it's only 5 years old. It's very new. But what it does is it's allowing everyday people like you and I to be able to get in and get our money, right? To be able to actually have a piece of the pie, to be able to say, we're going to give something to our children, right? This is what we deserve, right? As a people. So that kind of gives you the synopsis of what equity crowdfunding is. So I can sort of get into what we're doing on it.
I want to go back. Have you
yeah.
tried traditional fundraising? And how was that for you?
Yeah, so actually we bootstrapped all the way to get here, which is good for any business owner that can do it. But bootstrapping is hard. You take 100% of the risk, and alongside that, depending on the type of business that you are building, Obanj is it's a high inventory based business, right? Like so. If you are able to buy something, traditional businesses, you're able to buy something inexpensively and sell it for a little bit more, right? That's the most ideal. But once you start getting into more complicated businesses, you're building tech, you're building a hardware solution, right? You're building something that's heavy on inventory. That's where you need to get into other versions of traditional funding. So we are currently in pitch competitions. We're actually finalists in 2 pitch competitions, Pipeline Summit and Stella Labs. We have our final competition with Stella Labs on Saturday, and with Pipeline Angels next week. So that's really exciting. So that's sort of getting into the angel women's networking the women's angel space. But
Mhm.
with WeFunder and equity crowdfunding in particular, I'm really passionate about this being one of our main staples, because I want I want to be able to say that everyday people are owners of Obanj. It's not just guys in Silicon Valley who have $1 million already or more and can get in on this. I want our cap table, that the chart that says who the investors of a business are. I want people who look like me. I want people who have lived different realities. I want women. I want queer people. I want, disabled people. I want just these brands that we have on our platform. So much have sort of promoted the idea that, luxury is not for everybody. This life is not for everybody. And I'm like, goodness, beauty, flyness, that's for all of us,
Yes. Let's talk more about your WeFunder campaign, because
Yeah.
I think it's a big stigma. People don't believe that they can invest in businesses. And so
Yeah.
WeFunder and Republic.io and all of those amazing companies out there are giving people a chance to actually invest in businesses. How beneficial would it be for the people that are watching to learn more about, as well as how can they actually go through that process of being a
Mhm.
part of what you have going on? Because right now we're in a sprint. We're trying to hit a number so we can go completely public. So how can they do that, and what does that look like?
Yeah, 100%. So I will say that if you are listening now and you're intrigued, you're like, what is this? I can invest. First of all, the first part is seeing yourself as an investor, right? With our platform, we have had individuals who never would have considered themselves investors before, for the first time saying, I am an investor. I am someone who invests in businesses. And that is absolutely what we want you thinking. So that's the first thing. It's that framing, right? You consume, but you can invest as well. And in fact, you can invest in the companies that you want to consume from. So that's the first part of it. It's that mindset shift. Two, I would say go to WeFunder, go to Republic, create a profile. It's free to do so, and just start playing around. And by play around, I mean go check it out. Look at the different companies, see what the questions are, like poke around, go to the company's websites, right? Like do your own, we call it due diligence, of just sort of checking out what it means and what it looks like. Once you've sort of gotten your toe in a little bit and you're like, this is really interesting, because you'll find a bunch of really cool companies on there. Once you decide, yes, I want to invest, that's when I say, come on back to Obanj. Come on back. Okay. I know the VR company looks real cool, but come on back to who brought you here. So that's how you come with us. Our minimum investment is $100. So that's, you can budget for that. You can, figure out how you want to play that out. And then you can come in and invest. If there are questions you have, you can go ahead and put them on our WeFunder site, and I answer all questions, or, our financial advisor will answer all questions for you. But it's actually a really easy process. The biggest hurdle is deciding that you want to invest and that you are an investor. I think that's the biggest thing for us to sort of wrap our heads around. But once we're in it, I mean, you might go investment crazy. I mean, I know people
No,
now
no,
who are
no.
like,
Don't do that. I want everyone to invest responsibly. It is so important that when you are investing, to make sure you invest responsibly. So that means
absolutely,
cutting back on your Starbucks for just a couple days a week, not spending thousands of dollars you don't have, but invest
absolutely.
responsibly in amazing companies.
Thank you for that caveat and PSA and TED Talk. Um, you know, we have we've had a few people now who have said, I am now allocating a part of my monthly income to this. So every month, maybe, if I have $200, $300, I can invest in 3 different companies, or I can put that 300 in one company if I love them that much. That's the beautiful thing about it. And with WeFunder, right, the bottom is 100, the minimum is 100, but you can go all the way up. So you can invest 1,000, you can invest 5, you can invest 10 if you have it. once you sort of get into 25K, if that's the ability you have, you see a business and you're like, I want to go all in. You do need to become accredited, and that's to protect you. That's to make sure that the money in the bank matches the risk you're assuming by writing that check. But if it's $100, $1,000, $5,000, you can go ahead, and that's just, you could do that right now. So.
And then remembering when you're investing, guys, that there is a risk. So make sure you are doing your due diligence, you're researching, you're connecting with these companies, connecting with Melissa, talk more about what she has going on and what other companies have going on. So you know the risk of this $100 or $20,000 that you're putting in. $20,000 is kind of where you need to stop. 25K, you do have to be accredited. And then we're going a little wild there when you can break that 20 up into like different local Tucson businesses that are also on WeFunder. Let's talk about investing locally. How important is it for people to put their money into these local businesses, especially after the year we do not speak of, and how they can help us grow here in Arizona and Tucson?
I don't know if there are any words I can even muster to speak to the importance of supporting local. We can quantify it, where we can talk about how long does a dollar stay in a community and what does that mean. We can talk about what it means when a business is able to hire people in the community, and how, especially at a minimum wage or higher, at a living wage. We can talk about the services, like community that's developed when we have thriving businesses, because local businesses, more than national businesses that sort of come into a space, local businesses are part of the community. The entrepreneur is accountable to the community, right? If somebody comes in and has a bakery and starts selling things that are not good or don't have good things in it, you answer to the people around you. They're like, oh, absolutely not, right? Whereas if a big sort of company, I will not name names, comes in and we find out later that they were selling things they shouldn't have been selling, what do we do, right? If we have an online retailer that I will not mention names, but may have, the founder may be one of the biggest billionaires out there, just going to the moon and stuff. That person is, when you try to compete on that platform as a small business owner, they're constantly making your prices go down. You're trying to compete, you're getting sold out, and eventually they end up just selling your product anyway. So you kind of get booted out. So when we support local, we're allowing the people around us to thrive. We're allowing dollars to be circulated back into the community, which then allows for infrastructure. It allows for better buildings. It allows for better, just social amenities that we all enjoy. So I could go on about this all day, but it's so important.
Yeah, it's very important, especially now. Especially now, it's always been important, but especially now for us to support our local businesses. Melissa, I want you to talk to my founders who are in the same space as you, that are thinking about maybe doing a WeFunder campaign. Is it something they should do? Can you give them some encouragement? All the things.
Yeah, 100%. I think that crowdfunding is the best gap before going to an investor. If you're from an underrepresented community, I'm just going to be really straight up, right? I was reading a report the other day from Black Women Tech, and it said that the average friends and family round that the African American female entrepreneur raises is $36,000. Compare that to the $250,000 to $500,000 that the general entrepreneur is able to raise. $36,000 to $250,000 is a big gap. So if you're in a space where the amount that you can bootstrap and the amount that you can raise from your immediate community is under $250,000, crowdfund. Because if you do want to go and get more traditional funding, the investor looking at you is going to be comparing you to the companies that come in that have already put in $250,000, $500,000, $1 million. right? So their traction is just going to be light years ahead. So I recommend crowdfunding. It definitely has its steps you have to do, but all of that's good. It's just good to already sort of have the things you need to do. You have to file with the SEC, and that's to make sure that everything is good. So you're going to have to get some legal stuff done. You're going to have to get some accounting stuff done. But ultimately, it just makes you a stronger company. And I think that what crowdfunding also does is it puts you in front of people. It can act as your family and friends round. So it's a way for people to get in, and you don't have to ask them intimidating numbers like 5,000, 10,000, right? People, your grandma can come in with $100 and support you, and you do well for that business, you set grandma up. So, you know, she's not even thinking about it right now, but in 5, 6, 7 years, you know, grandma might get a really pretty surprise. So I say that, yes, I definitely recommend crowdfunding. It's a lot of work. You need support, like Startup Tucson is supporting us to get the ideas out there, because it's not just telling people to invest in you, it's introducing the idea in and of itself. So it's part education, especially for our communities, but it's also telling people, come out, you know, invest, support businesses. You deserve a seat at the table. You can be an owner, and you're allowing founders to do what they're here to do.
Yes. So tell us where we can find out all the information. We will have the link both on our Facebook, and then I'll figure out this Instagram, but I will drop the link in there. Tell us where we can do the things, so people can learn more about you. And guys, if you're interested in WeFunder, or Kiva is another one, make sure you connect with us at info@startuptucson.com, and someone will get back to you and talk to you more about that process. But Melissa, where can we go give you all the money and make it rain?
All the money, make it rain.
All the money and make it rain.
We fund it. Let's make it hail. Let's make it thunderstorm at
Okay.
wefunder.com/OBANJ. So wefunder.com/Obanj. Check us out. We would love to call you a shareholder of the company.
Yes, and make sure you're following on Instagram. Follow Obanj on Instagram. Follow Obanj on Facebook. Connect with us. If you guys have questions, you can email us and we'll get them to Melissa, or you can just comment right here if you have questions, kind of in the chat, and we will answer those. Thank you so much for being here and spending your lunchtime with us. We're so excited for your WeFunder campaign. Channing, do you have anything else besides wrapping up?
I mean, I'm just really curious because I'm thinking about like all the jewelry that maybe you get to interact with. Do you have a favorite piece in your collection right now?
Ooh, you can't ask me about my babies.
That's fair. That's fair. I figured there might be an answer like that.
They're all pretty beautiful. Come check us out. We have some really beautiful pieces.
Where,
Go ahead.
Where can we go check them out?
www.obanj.com.
And what is your starting price point for people to rent the jewelry, whether it's one time or monthly?
So starting price point's $29 a month, or the next membership tier is $49 a month. $29 a month, you can rent one piece of jewelry at a time. So I always say you can keep a piece of jewelry for 6 months if you want to, if you love it that much. You just got to pay that $29 a month, or you can send it back as soon as you've worn it to get another piece. So you can wear pieces as quick as it takes to ship back and forth. And shipping is always complimentary for our monthly members. Now, if you are renting one time, I think the lowest price is around $45, and it doesn't go any higher than $150.
Okay. So the world is opening up. There's a ton of stuff going on. We are going to be at the Copper Cactus. So you guys need to show up in your Obanj jewelry, and your slippers, because I think it's like Zoom formal or something. Make sure you reach out to Melissa, get your jewelry on, follow us, let us know, snap pictures. We will share them with the world because we want to show how fabulous you are in the jewelry. And I think we're going to wrap this up.
Esteban Exosuna has said, send us the spelling, please. So for WeFunder, it's WeFunder.com/OBANJ.
.com.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I hope I did not.
OBANJ.
Yeah, I hope I did not embarrass myself with this.
I got it. I dropped in the chat, y'all. Also,
Yes.
we were like all up close and personal for a minute. It was just a lot.
Yes. And Esteban, follow us on Instagram, and Val of the World. Follow us on Instagram, and you can get all the information.
Hey Val, thanks for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching the replay of this, everything will be in there. But Obanj is open. The We Funder campaign is open. I want for you guys to invest. Let's get her over this little bit of a hurdle so we can go public and really push this out. You need to own a piece of a company that is local. You need to have this in your portfolio. You need to tell people you are an investor. You know those people that walk around, they're like, oh, I'm an investor. And yeah, you want to be one of those people. You want to pop your collar and be like, yep, that's me. I'm an investor. So make sure you guys are investing in this company. It's very important. Thank you again, Melissa, for joining us. We're going to end this. I hope you guys all have a wonderful lunchtime, and we will talk soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Take care.